day, things just become more and more hopeless. And this individual has everything anyone could ask for, yet it's not enough. So he asks all the wise men and women in his society, look, I'll give you my fortune if you can change how I feel right now. I'll give you my fortune. So the jesters and the comedians try to make him laugh. Nothing happens. Because sometimes when you feel that deep sense of loss or isolation, nothing appears to be meaningful. So he was in that state. But he was a very wise man and wanted to know how does he get out of this situation. And then the others came in and some did some acrobats, some did some tomfoolery. Nothing worked. Nothing worked. So young girl gets up and she goes, give me your ring and I will change your state. Give me your ring. And so he takes his ring and gives it to her. And she runs off, comes back, and she puts the ring on his hand and says, close your fist. And he does so. And she said, I have given you something that will make you feel joyful when you're feeling sad, when you're feeling joyful. And all you need to do is simply open your hand and see what's there. So he opens his hand, and on this ring it says, this too shall pass. And it's important to remember that. This too shall pass. This too will change. This too is changing. Don't get stuck thinking this is some kind of fatalistic output. It isn't. It isn't. This is just the last remnants of a shift we're going through. And in this shift, the old world is dying and it's dead. And the last few systems are trying to hold on, but these are unwinding, which is why you see that people were first being bribed to have their dolly juice. That you can have a donut, you can win a lottery, you can even have a joint. Then they started paying them. And then they started threatening us. So you see the shift. The shift tells you, when do you threaten? When you honor. When do you bribe? When you think you can get away with it. So that emotional shift tells you what's going on behind the scenes, so to speak. It gives you little glimpses. And out of this, we begin to recognize that despite what is being foisted upon humanity, and it's not just to do with with the guys in the suits. It's actually something much bigger. It's a much more cosmic case. We've gone, so everything is a cycle, right? Everything is a cycle. And every so many thousand years, the cycle shifts. So on the 28th of December last year, we entered a new age. Now, these ages are known. So this is the age of Aquarius. This is the age of knowing. This is the age of knowledge. This is the age of discovery. This is the age of finding yourself. Pisces was the age of the school, because you have a school of fish. Everyone has to think the same. Everyone is the hierarchy. Everyone's afraid of the predators. So you see that shift is now taking us to where everyone is now waking up. Saying, hey, Life doesn't seem to be, this isn't Kansas, as Dorothy used to say. Yeah, you realize, where have I got to? What's going on? And now, in that, we are discovering not just what all that rubbish is, but more importantly, who you are, what you are. Because ultimately, no one can take you away from yourself. No one can. But they can strip you of your identity. But they can't take you away from yourself. So, let me give you an example. An identity is the brand someone creates. Yeah. So the identity could be, normally it's your name. Your name plus your psychological makeup is you, your identity. That's what you think is your identity. However, there is that which knows it as an identity, the awareness, which is your true self. That can never be taken away. So meditation allows us to access that. And in doing so, depression, anxiety, stress, these things fall away. More importantly, we begin to get clarity, and far more important, we begin to develop this sense of that is pretty rooted within. It knows. It knows what it stands for. It knows its truth. You have to have a truth, your truth. How far will you allow individuals to push you before you begin to say, no, enough, enough. And this understanding comes from my tradition, because my fifth master, Guru Arjan Dev Ji, was tortured alive. So his son, Guru Har Gobind Sai, took a sword. And people say, how can those who have mystical practices, believe in peace, carry a sword? You have to know your sovereignty. You have to know your sovereignty. You have to know where you stand. Because as much as every one of us just wants a peaceful life, there are these egocentric individuals, power hungry, nothing's enough. Life for you and me is indiscriminate. Doesn't matter. Few kids doesn't matter. Few people die, doesn't matter. As long as a profit is there. How much profit do you think the drug companies are now raking in? And where do you think it's going? Just follow the money. And you will see the whole thing's a scam. And you're being had, as I'm being had. Either you question it, or you suffer the consequences, which people are now starting to suffer. I myself have had 3 individuals over the last 24 hours. 3 individuals. So, as we said, September onwards, things are going to get serious. The initiative that you're doing in order to stretch hands across the country, what day is it? 1 o'clock.
People are meeting just to spread out.
So, yeah. So individuals meeting around the country, or maybe around the world, but taking a stand. And it begins somewhere. Doesn't have to, it's not violence. Has to be just, no, enough. Ain't doing it. Sovereignty. Not doing it. Leave me alone. Let me get on with my life. Not doing it. And prepare. Keep telling you, prepare. Prepare, make sure you have some food, make sure you have medicines, make sure 2 or 3, because things are volatile. Better to prepare and not need than to need and not be prepared. But the center is always here. Always has been and always will be, as far as we can, to ensure that people are given the appropriate understanding and practical support wherever possible, to make sure that we maintain some level of sanity while all of this noise takes place. So change your attitude, change your perspective. Change your attitude, change your perspective. Fabulous times to be living in. Got opportunity to do something. To say, yeah, when the day came, I know where I stood. How many people have lived and died and never known that? And what a phenomenal human opportunity to know what we're about. And if we don't do it ourselves, it'll be done for us. So make our choices. Yeah. Okay, let's do our meditation, see where we are. So, as usual, close your eyes, close your mouth, stretch your back up. Imagine that you are being pulled from the top of your head upwards by your hair. So, your neck, head, and back seems aligned. So it's not rigid, it's not, but it's aligned. It seems comfortable, but aligned. As you breathe in again, bring your focus to your posture and begin to sense your body as best as you can. And so here we are looking at just sensing the body, the form, and you can notice that when you sense your body, when you sense, it doesn't necessarily need to be a defined outline. It can be a far more diffused, woolly awareness. And you can only sense your body because there are sensations. And we're going to begin to focus on things that are happening in the present moment. So we bring our focus to the chair or the seat we're sitting on. And we begin to notice the sensations where the chair or the seat makes contact with our body. As we breathe in again, we bring this focus up towards our hips. As you breathe out, you take this focus down your thighs. From your knees, you move down. Take your time, scanning your body, sensing all the way down to your ankles. Notice your feet and see if you can notice the soles of your feet. So again, it's just sensing that part of the body. You're not imagining it, you're not thinking about it. Your awareness is focused on the soles of your feet. Now, bring your focus back to the chair that you're on. And notice the body and notice if it feels still. Just get a sense of your body as best as you can. And to locate yourself, to allow yourself to know here and the now. Notice that where you're sitting and the ground that holds you is the only ground that can hold you at this moment. So we just focus on the ground, the chair, the environment you're in. If you feel cold or if you feel warm, comfortable, the noises that are around you. Is the only location you can be at this moment, right now. And the breath that you're taking now can only be taken from the air that's in front of you, from nowhere else. Allow yourself to notice that you are in fact embedded in this moment. How this moment becomes the following moment. Just as this breath is followed by the following breath. The moment creates itself. Notice that the back is straight and upright. As you breathe in, bring your focus upwards towards your middle back. Up towards your shoulder blades. Notice your shoulders. They're not hunched towards your wrists. And then finally, resting on the palms of your hands. And as you are focused, aware of the palms of your hands, see if you can sense anything. What does that sensation arise as? Moving to your fingers. As you breathe in, bring your focus to your eyes now. Notice the darkness. The awareness is the observer, and the observation is the darkness. The observation can also be your thoughts. Notice the darkness. And then notice that you can become aware of the sides of your face. And you can become aware somewhat towards the back of your head. Awareness. As you breathe out towards your tongue now. Does it feel firm or does it feel soft? If it feels firm, allow it to soften. Notice the sensations on the tongue. Notice the sensations on the roof of your mouth. And as you breathe out, allow your face to relax. As the breath comes in, once again, becoming aware of yourself as best as you can. Notice any thoughts you're having. How does the mind feel? Bring your focus now towards your chest and hold it there with the intention to know how you feel in this moment. Is there a feeling you can assign to your experience? Do you feel settled? Do you feel unsettled? Do you feel anxious? Do you feel calm? Right this moment. That's all we're concerned about. How do I feel? Settled, unsettled, comfortable, uncomfortable. Does this moment feel pleasant? Is this moment painful, suffering, dukh, or is this moment absence of suffering? How do you feel? On your next breath out, opening your awareness and begin to listen to the sounds without around you. Allow the sounds and the noises to come to you. Try not to work them out or think about them or judge them. Notice how the sound of the bell extends the moment of now into infinity. Listening. When you're ready, bring your focus just beneath your nose. Begin to watch your breath. Notice the breath moving in, notice the breath moving out. And if your focus drifts from there, distracted by some thoughts or a sound, notice the distraction, gently coming back to your breath. Stay with your breath. Notice the in breath coming in, notice the out breath going out. Training your focus to remain there, holding it just beneath your nose with a little bit of effort. Watching the in-breath moving in, watching the out-breath moving out. Notice that the breath has 4 parts to it. There's an in-breath that comes in, it stops. There's a little gap before the out-breath goes out, stops, and there's a little gap. As best as you can, see if you can locate your 4 parts of your breath. Stay with your breath. Stay with your breath. Begin to follow your out breath and see exactly when it finishes. As you follow your out breath, allow your body to soften and relax if it needs to, allowing you to go deeper and deeper into this moment. Stay with your breath. Notice there's a tiny little gap at the end of your out breath before the in breath begins. Notice how long it lasts. Again, allowing every out breath to move you deeper and deeper into the moment of now. Notice how you're breathing now. How does your breath feel? Does it feel fast or does it feel slow? Does your breath flow evenly or does it feel disrupted? Again, does your breath feel light or does it feel heavy? Stay with your breath. And finally, bringing your focus to the sound of your breath as best as you can. More intently you listen, the more present we become to the moment. In our breath as the vehicle to hold our focus. Listening to the in-breath coming in, listening to the out-breath going out. Stay with your breath. Listening to your in-breath as it comes in, listening to your out-breath as it goes out. On your next breath out, allow your awareness to open and begin to listen to the sounds around you. Listening to the sounds around you. Listening. Notice your experience in the silence. How do you feel? Does this moment feel content, peaceful, tranquil, safe, whole? Notice your experience. Notice the absence of stress. Notice the absence of thoughts, of stories. Notice your presence. Does this does this moment have a quality of time or timelessness? Is age or time of relevance? When you're ready, bringing your focus just beneath your nose, sitting with your breath, sitting with yourself in silence. How often do we sit with ourselves? On your next breath out, expanding your awareness, becoming aware of your whole body again, as best as you can. Notice your seat. Notice the sensations. Notice the sensations on your body. Bringing your focus down your thighs, down to your ankles, and finally becoming to notice your feet and the soles of your feet. Notice how still the body feels. Noticing that your back is still straight and upright. Shoulders, arms, hands are relaxed. Eyes are closed, mouth are still closed, and your face is relaxed. Coming back to your breath. And now, as you breathe in, you can sense your body. As you breathe out, you can sense your body. Becoming present to yourself. When you hear the next bell, Use this bell to draw a few deep breaths in, and when you're ready, gently opening your eyes. Take your time, allowing that experience to come back with you.